Hey, what's up everyone? How you guys doing today? Hopefully everybody is awesome. Good to see ya. Thank you for coming out to my crazy live stream. I hope you guys are all doing amazing. Alright, so I need to make a couple of quick adjustments. Alright, so Max, I am on the Discord if you want to pop in. Alrighty. I see we got some people here. What's up, people? Hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Let me go ahead and get the thing up on the screen. There's too many things on the screen. There we go. Ba-bam. There it is. All right. I want to say thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you guys being here. I don't know if Max... It looks like Max is in here. Max, are you talking? Hello, hello? It almost seems like it's not working for some reason. I don't know if you can hear me, but I don't hear you saying anything. Discord is not detecting my microphone. Alright. We have a problem. Voice and video. Hold on a second, guys. I think we have a issue here. So output device, that's where we want it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's working. Something seems to be broken. Let me default. Let me try this. This may I don't know. All right. Let's see if that works. Max, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you guys hear Max? I don't know what's going on here, but it does not seem to be working for some reason. All right. So according to Discord, yeah, Max, can you hear me? We got problems. I can't hear Max at all. I'll tell you what, man, all the streaming stuff is a pain in the butt. Yep, I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not able to hear you. Are you guys able to hear Max or not? So Max can hear me, but I can't hear him. Let me make a couple more changes on the software here. I mean, I had it all set up and everything was working great. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, I see what the problem is. Hold on. All right, maybe now I can hear you.
Hey, I'm trying to talk.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, Max, go ahead and talk a little bit.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Able to get on here today, see if I can join the chat.
I don't think they can hear you.
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, okay. It's working. It's working.
Right.
All right, we got it.
All right.
We got her.
Good, good. Live stream's frozen for me, so let me restart it.
All right, is Max loud enough? Is he too loud? Hopefully everything is set up correctly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you
I
what.
have a new headset. That could be part of the issue here.
No, I don't think it was. I don't know. It's some sort of settings. I had to get the settings right on the Discord. Like, I don't know. I had everything set up fine. It was working, and then I think I don't know. It changed everything on me. So, all right. Sounds decent. Cool, cool. All right, so I'm going to be racing the Cento Diachi today. I'm not even sure if this is a good setup, but I got to reset this thing. So I changed the tune around. I changed the parts around. I should be in about the 11.8 lobby if this does what I think it's going to do. So We're going to be live racing around 11.8. New headset, hey?
New headset. Yep. How's the
Cool,
mic on
cool.
this?
Doesn't sound too bad.
All right. I mean, this one is wireless, so it
Oh,
makes it easier
gotcha.
for me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds decent.
Okay. I can probably tweak it, but, again, it's new to me, so if I start messing with
Yeah.
the settings, you guys may end up hearing some weird stuff.
I
So I
mean,
think I'm going to leave it be.
headset mics generally just kind of sound so-so, but it doesn't sound bad. Does not sound
All right.
bad. I mean, it doesn't sound
Good,
like
good.
crazy high quality or anything, but you're clear, you're easy to understand, and should be
Good.
pretty decent.
All right. Then we're good for now. I mean, I can start tweaking like this set has a weird setting thing where I can mess with the audio settings. Like I could mess with the equalizer, the gain.
Gotcha.
Yeah, side tone. I don't even know what that means.
Side
I'm not even
tone? I don't know.
side tone. Yeah.
Hmm.
Bottom line is not good to mess with it while you're in the middle of talking on a stream.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it be.
One
So
thing
good
you
morning,
could do,
everyone.
you could do your a private live stream and listen to yourself and then adjust it as you listen one day. That's
Yeah, I'll mess with it
what
later.
I used to
I
do.
literally installed this last night, half asleep. So you got
Gotcha.
to bear with me here. Yeah, and I'm not as techie as you are with this stuff, so I consider it a win if it works.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
I saw you put up the new video with the new stuff,
Yeah,
so
there's some
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool new cars in there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they have no shortage of new, cool-looking cars coming out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing with this game, right? You got thousands of cool-looking cars. That's why we play it. You collect them. It's all good. What lobby are you in?
I think 11.8.
All right.
Pretty
I
sure.
mean, I'm not currently in that lobby. I'm actually in 9.3 or 9.4 at the moment. And
William
your
D,
wild card.
I started it, my friend. The wild card should be up and running. If not, go ahead and start it, but I did start it, so you can always double check. Nobody wants to race me. They're like, no. I don't know oh, there's Wenpu.
It's
Cool, cool.
refusal day for you.
Yeah, everybody's like, I ain't racing that guy. His car is too cool. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I set up my instead of using the Bluetooth controller, I gotta get used to this. I'm trying to just run off the mouse and the little miniature keyboard instead of the game controller, so it's gonna take me a minute to get used to the controls again. So I had a really bad start right there. So I think it looks like you might have found a live racing stuff for that charger, eh? It looked like it was on some sort of low performance point high Evo setup.
I was messing with it, to see if it has any potential. I mean, unfortunately, out of these new cars, I think that's the only one that has any potential really of beating Dino a little bit. The rest of them all have great numbers, but very hard to drive. Some of them,
Yeah.
the Turbillion, for example, literally can be a turd billion if it keeps up the way it's doing. Not to say that the numbers won't be good, but it just won't stand out.
Question is, why do they hate Bugattis in this game, right?
No, they
There's
don't hate Bugattis. Some of the best cars in here is Bugattis.
a few of them, but I would say the majority of them suck. There's a few really good ones, but most of the Bugattis are just kind of so-so. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, the best Bugatti in the game for live racing, for the most part, the Maestro or Mistro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's a
one's
great
quite
car.
good.
So, and then you have even the, what's the one, well, the one you're using, the White Cento is not bad. It's harder to set up for live racing than most,
Yeah.
but it's still a viable car. Then you have the one that's, what's that blue one? Now the name's escaping me.
A blue one.
What the race car looking one. Poo.
Race car looking. Oh, the Yeah.
No, not the Devo, not the Devo. The one that literally looks like a race car. It's the very
It's all
limited
carbon
edition one.
fiber. It's all like carbon fiber and blue. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about, but I
Of
can't
course,
think of the
both of
name.
us are having the old man moments with the name.
Yes.
Um,
My brain is
yeah.
somewhere.
I don't want to jump out of lobby. Oh, Bolide. That's it.
Bolide, yeah.
Bolide. Yes.
Thanks,
the
Black.
Bolide it's still okay. It's still good enough in the slower lobbies. I mean, it's kind of a struggle with it anywhere else. When it first came out, it wasn't bad at all, but nowadays it's just not as good.
Yeah.
So, and I love the Chiron 300. I love the Ans Bugatti 110, the Ans 110 Chiron. You know, those are still viable, certainly for, you know, if you know how to set them up and tune them. And there are a bunch of other Chirons that are pretty cool and usable, but not, you know, not great. What's the other one that I liked? LVN, the La Voiture. I like that
Oh,
car.
yeah.
Again, with the down tune, it's actually pretty viable in slower lobbies. It's just not that great in the faster lobbies. You know, the numbers are so nowadays. Yeah, Millen's right about that. I mean, you have a lot of high evo cars that'll lobby better than they will, but in the end, if push comes to shove, you know, I'm more likely to take your 200K than you are to take mine. So that's the bottom line with those Bugattis. So there, I mean, I like them. Like I said, it's just that, you know, the outstanding one for low performance point high evo is still the Mistral. That's the one that's good.
Yeah, that car is awesome, actually.
Yep.
That's probably the best Bugatti in the game, hands down. That and the Bolide, those are the two best live racers for Bugattis.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, the Chirons have always been kind of a Dino beating lobby killer if you control them well.
Yeah.
In the old days, like 3-4 years ago, you would see them lurking in every lobby, throwing down 200K. Nowadays, I think they're all killed. Everybody already broke them,
Oh, yeah,
so
for
that's
sure.
why you don't see them. Yeah, but those were fun. You know, but this Turbillion, unfortunately, the numbers are phenomenal. I mean, we're talking, you know, Jesco Red kind of numbers. Good morning, Miguel. Good morning, everyone else
What's up,
too
Miguel?
that I haven't said goodbye. Goodbye. Good morning,
Darker
too.
Night, hey. Good to see you guys. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you. Hey, EKT, what's up, buddy? Been a little while. Hope you've been doing good. It seems to me like they're even adding more cars more frequently than they used to. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's just time's going by faster, but
they're definitely adding cars very fast. I mean, every update we're talking, you know, it used to, remember in the first few years, an update would come once every few months, right?
yeah.
We're getting an update every 2 seasons now, or sometimes every season. So think about that. And each update comes with like 2-3 new cars, 3-4 new cars. So that's like 3-4 new cars every 2-3 weeks,
Yeah,
rather
it's
than
crazy.
every 2-3 months. Yeah, it is crazy. You can't keep up with that.
It's just like new stuff. I mean, it's great for YouTubers. I mean, that's loads of content to make, but
Yeah, I mean, it's keeping us kind of busy. I mean, I don't follow up with videos as quick as you can, but the bottom line is, you know, I don't want to spend more time researching than I am playing the game.
yes.
And that's starting to be the case with this many new cars. So that's a little frustrating.
I got 2 gaming channels, and I think I do more time just doing YouTube stuff than actually playing the game because I just want to get on play. Like on both games, it's like more time spent recording or testing or this or that. Then I have like a couple hours every day where I actually get into play like right before I go to bed. The rest of the day I'm just working on YouTube this, YouTube this, YouTube this, YouTube that. Then I have like, you know, 2 to 3 hours a night where I'm like, all right, now I'm going to get on and actually play some games. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and also the paid content is getting more and more pushed.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Know, we can't do any big event now without a paywall. That's the reality. American Road Trip, I remember the first one. many of the legs, veteran players simply can do it for free. We didn't have to buy a car. Now, if you don't buy a car, you can't even get past like lock-in 2s in some of them. So it's understandable that they need their money, and
Yeah.
but you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But
You just kind
I
of
think
got to
their
pick and
attitude,
choose what events you can afford to do, basically.
yeah, yeah, and I think their attitude is there's thousands of cars in the game already. Some of them are already free. You know, you're not missing out on much, but from a player perspective, of course, you always want to do events and the newest stuff, right? You don't care about cars from 5 years ago. That's
Unless
kind
they're
of,
good.
unless they're good, of course. Yeah, and I think right now they put the FXXK out again for sale for 39.50 gold. I saw a Reddit post on that. Just to give everyone a heads up, that's an outdated car. As good as it is back in the day, it is not going to do much for you.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
pretty
but
bad these days. Not fun to drive
yeah,
either.
well, it's kind of a rough way to launch it. The thing about that car is it's still one of the coolest Ferraris in the game, as far as I'm concerned. I love the way it looks.
Oh, it looks
So
awesome.
yeah, it's an awesome looking car. If you want to collect it and you have tons of gold, that's one thing. Speaking of tons of gold, that's another thing they're really trying to, do a lot of things to make us burn up every penny we have of
Yeah.
resources, big time.
That's what collections is. Collections is a
Collections,
resource eater.
oh, big time. And then so it's these elite tuner things.
Oh
They
yeah.
make you grind for those tokens with Apex cars and Showdown. You got to build them, right? So all that stuff is meant to tempt you into spending all your resources. The new what's his name? Sneak is sneaking away all your resources. That's what he's doing.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
you know, good old Sneak. He's a sneaky little guy.
Yes, he
Um,
is. Yes, he is.
yeah, and he's taking your stuff. I mean, whether you think he is or not, the truth is all of us are actually watching our gold go down, our key counts go down, our money go down faster than it was.
Yep, big
Not to
time.
say you can't control it, but much faster.
You got to
So
be really picky and choose. I mean, you got to be more stingy with your stuff now than ever, unless you're a big spender, honestly.
yeah, and the truth is, look, even big spenders have their limits, right?
Yep.
It's at some point they're gonna check their bank account and go, was that really worth it? I mean, outside a few crazy millionaire guys, I don't care, but your average player, even if you have some money put into the game, still has a limit.
What's up,
Um,
Adif? William D says, Donna gives us a crap sandwich every single time.
Pretty much. I still feel that milestone cars have been getting better, so I don't feel like free-to-play players getting milestone cars are completely getting gimped, right? The latest few milestone cars, the Cylindri, the Porsche, the Lamborghini, they're all viable. I mean, they're not
Oh, yeah.
top-tier stuff, sure, but I can tell you that I can go into live with any one of those three cars and still do well. I won't be able to beat the Maestros out there, or the top tier cars like all the paid Chevelles and F50 GTs, but I can definitely give them a run for their money regardless. So
Black,
that's yeah.
Black Phantom says, crates have gotten worse. What do you think? The drop rates are worse or what? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but pretty much it seems the same to me. I open a car and Donna's like, here's a mini pooper. I'm like, oh man,
I
that's
don't
not
think
what I wanted.
the crate drop rate hasn't gotten much worse, but what it is they're not giving you free crates as much for
Oh yeah,
stuff.
that's true.
Like
That
all
is
the all
true.
these paid crates now on everything. So um that's hit or miss with the stage sixes, to be honest. I have gotten okay results recently
Good
overall. Like
swaps.
we've been watching the pattern for 7 years, so it's
Yeah, I mean, the free crates. Well, the only thing is, though, sometimes there's so many events on the map that there's more free crates, but other times there's less. So it's kind of hit and miss depending on how many events are up there. But yeah, I mean, it seems like they've slowed down the timer on a lot of the free crates, unfortunately.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Now, when you got
It,
34 events up there on the map and each one of those has a free crate, then that's like, ooh, it's great for like a week. But
yeah. What I find is paid crates actually tend to have lousier drop rate stuff than free crates,
I've never
right?
opened a paid crate. I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, even on the free polls, like you get your like that event I'm with the Porsche with the Bishimoto. I get to pull like every 2 days or 1 day and a half a bunch of these gold paid crates for free, and they've dropped nothing but garbage. I mean, it just like the silver key crates and the silver free crates sometimes for the showdowns tend to drop more red fusions and stage sixes than these paid crates ever have done. So
Yeah.
that's just an observation. It may not be right, but
Well, Winpoo, the
oh well,
NSXR is a very good live racing car if you know how to set it up.
yeah.
So that
Oh
one
yeah,
can definitely be, if somebody knows what they're doing with it, that one definitely can be hard to beat. What's up, Fox? How's it going?
yeah, exactly. The paid crates have been sucking pretty bad. Yeah, that I agree with Black Phantom. I don't think they're any good recently. Um, maybe the silver crates are still doing all right. As far as car drop crates for the Prestige Cup car, that's pretty much standard. I haven't seen any
Yeah.
changes in that. They're doing okay.
One thing you can do is just save up your bronze keys and then open all the bronze crates.
Well, I use that actually, like when I save enough. For example, this Elite Tuner BMW, I got lucky, right? Oh, that's
Yeah.
actually worth a discussion too. We were talking about in my crew chat. So my main account, which is a veteran account, you know that it's a paid account, you know that, has got nothing but 10%. Like no 20%, no
Really?
30%, nothing. Straight up 10%.
I
My
got
free to play,
40. I got
no
40 on the
40s.
second try.
Ah, see, the second account, which is kind of free to play, I only bought like one or two things over 7 years on there.
Yeah.
That one got 40%, 40%, 50%.
Huh.
Like bang, 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 all good. And I was talking with my crew guys at least, and this is why I'm saying this on the stream, is I want to see other people's feedback. It almost seems like if you get a 10, you're stuck with that 10 for a while. Like it just 10, 10, 10, 10, right? But if you start off pretty good, it's 30, 30, 40. Or is it, are they favoring free to play players somewhat and punishing the paid players here? Because they figure if we keep giving you paid players 10%, you'll start, paying more. Who knows? I mean, we like to look for
Maybe.
patterns, but it could
Maybe.
all just be random anyway. And I'm just not lucky with my one account. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
it's random, but there could be something built into the algorithm that says, "Hey, this guy buys some things. How about we don't give him a good deal?"
Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah.
if you saw a car teleport in front of you, that was a lag either on your end or their end. Like sometimes you'll see a car going down the track and it jumps all over the place and jerks back and forth. Normally that's just lag. I mean, I thought that was somebody cheating at first when I first saw that, but that's somebody's lagging is all that is.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean that there isn't some that might be cheaters, but the point is you can't just assume automatically it's cheating.
Yeah.
But so, for example, Vladimir just said he hasn't had a 30 to 50% since the 92 in SXR. My main account's pretty close to that. Like, I mean, I pulled them. I don't build these too much. I haven't built a Elite Tuner car since the wow. The last one I fully built was the C8 Corvette. So anyway, the point is, I have been watching the polls, and they've been stinky, right? Really stinky. Um, and my other account, which barely has any investment or it's lower ranking, right, seems to get much better polls all
Huh.
around. Like it just
That's
just
interesting.
just something I noticed because I have two accounts to look at all the time, so I can always compare. Um, Now, my main question would be to look at, the tuner discount percentage. The main thing I would look at is the free players versus paid players average on a larger scale. Like if we took 1,000 paid players and 1,000 free players and we document all their polls and then we compare statistically, you may see a pattern. Versus if it's just a few guys here, a few guys there, of course, that's just random. That's just how it works. Um, And interestingly, I'd read an article recently that by a statistician, mathematician guy that says probability may not actually exist. Okay. That's a philosophical standpoint based on complex mathematics. I'm not going to get into that because I don't understand it. But point is, what we consider to be probability may not even exist. So.
All right, so I actually don't have the spin thingy dingy. Now, I think Max made a really good video on that spin thingy dingy, but yeah, I don't have it yet. It hasn't showed up. So that must still be in beta. I think some people have it, some people don't.
Yeah, both my accounts ended up getting it. My main account got it first day that it came out, apparently.
Oh, nice.
And a few days later, somehow my second account, it popped up. But my second account has like 3,700 gold period, so I'm not touching that thing.
Yeah.
Not even for 50 gold. It's like I need every gold I can get. It should be, Danny, what'd you say, 11.8?
Well, the car is running way slower than the Dino, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm in the 11.8 or the 12.0.
Yeah, I would check into 12 first and then go to 11.8.
Like, I probably should be in the 12s. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing probably the 12.0 lobby.
Yeah. I mean, the Cento, unfortunately, in the 12s and the 11s, you really have to run a down tune in order to even hit Dino.
I just threw something together to reset the car because it got pushed a whole bunch of times, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to use the live stream today to reset this car.
Yeah, so look, he's running a car. This is how you match people, okay? This is something we can talk about while we're looking at trying to get into Danny's lobby. He's got a car at 657 performance point, 1200 Evo in 11.8. So if you're running a car that is around 657 performance point, 1200 Evo, you would Dino 11.8 to look for him. If you have a car that is 650 performance point and 1400 Evo to have the same Dino, you may have lobby advantage. Therefore, you may want to actually Dino 11.7 to look for him. If you have a even weaker setup, which I hope you don't, you may have to Dino 12 to look for him. So don't assume that 11.8 is the be-all, end-all of finding him. Generally, the best way is to slightly adjust your Dino to look for Danny. Start at 11.8, then move one direction, lowering it by like 0.03 at a time, and then increasing it by 0.03 at a time. And if you have a really good car that's like 640 performance point and 2000 Evo, try 11.5. You may find them. So, or 11.6, not 11.5. 11.5 is a different lobby, but 11.6 and change, you could probably find them. So make sure you do that when you're looking for him. This is why some of us find him so quickly, and other of you keep complaining you couldn't find him because you're probably not messing with your Dino. You just set it to a Dino and then you're looking for Danny. That doesn't work.
So Ryan wants to know, is the live racing time of a 9.2 good for the Ferrari GTO? If you're winning like 70, 80, 90% of the races, then yes. I mean, it really just depends. I mean, there's no real best time for something. You just have to find a setup that actually works. That's kind of the deal there. So if you go in there and you're winning, 8 out of 10 races or 7 out of 10, then it's pretty good. But if you're losing the majority of them, then you may need to reset the car up.
All right. Yeah, so that's a T2. The lobby is a little different. I don't know enough to really tell you too much. 9.2 probably is good if you're winning a lot in there. That's on the faster end of tier 2, tier 3, but not the fastest, obviously. That's like in the low 8s or 6s or 7s now. All right, so Lucid Pain says to complete a daily trial. Let me tell you what daily trials are on the map right now. You have Fusion Trial. That's the one you got to do. Go do that trial and you will complete that challenge. That's your daily trial at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't make that very apparent as to what you're actually supposed to do sometimes.
Yep.
It'd be nice if it would just say, go race this, That would be
yeah, that
perfect.
would be much
That's
easier.
What it should do. But it's like, no, we're going to keep you guessing, make you race 93 different things on the map and hope you find it.
Well, that's good for them, right? So,
yeah.
yeah. How to defeat 4 or 5 boss tier 3? What, Tempest tier 3, regular boss tier 3? That's a very open question depending on what you're talking about.
I mean, generally, it comes down to this. You have to have a car that's capable of running faster than the boss. If there's speed traps and sprint races, it needs to be capable of doing those. And then it's all about just having enough parts on the car, shifting it, and tuning it correctly. So it's all about, can the car do it? Enough parts, shift and tune. That's really all there is to it.
Exactly.
But it depends
Ryan,
on what car you have, right?
Ryan asked about collections, Danny. I think you and I both have videos on what it is, what's good in there. You know, you really should search our respective playlists for answers on what a collection is and how to achieve in that. But bottom line is collections is a big resource sink. On the other hand, if you can do the collection stuff and collect enough tokens, you could buy some really nice paid cars for free.
Collections is great, but I think it's going to be very hard for most people to do without buying stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem with it. I really like the idea of collections, but they're not making it easy, unfortunately.
They're definitely not. And, you know, not to say that you won't be able to succeed in it, it's just not easy to do it.
Yeah. I mean, some people will. If you have enough of those cars and you've already got them leveled up, then but bam, you're good to go for a lot of tokens and stuff. But like me, I've hardly got any of the cars from the collections leveled up. So the amount of game cash I would have, oh crap, I hit an ad. The amount of game cash I'd have to spend on everything else to level those cars up is ridiculous. And I mean, it's just kind of like, well, probably not going to happen anytime soon. Melon. Good swaps if that kicked us out of here. I'm not sure. Mr. C, what's up, buddy? Oh, there we go. Darker Night, hey. Good to see ya. Yeah, collections is cool, but it's a pain in the buttocks. A lot of free-to-play people were really excited about it, but I'm pretty sure they're starting to realize, hey, I can't really do this.
Not easily anyway. You're gonna have to, like, most of the upper end requirements for veteran, it's basically max your car. Like, it literally goes to max your car. Run 7.2s, run 7.3s, close to max for everything. That's unfortunately not going to be possible for a lot of cars, and certainly not easy for most players to accomplish. But that's the goal, right? I mean, they want you to do that because it costs you cash, fusions, all the stuff that you normally don't want to waste.
Shazzy, yeah, that's a great starter car. The Tier 3 Mustang that you can buy is a really good starter car nowadays. I mean, there are way better cars than that, but, you know, when you're getting your first Tier 3 car, that's the one I currently suggest if you're buying one with cash, because you can just keep buying and stripping those. They're easy to get parts for. If you throw a few Elite Tuners tokens into that now, it'll beat all of the bosses when you're trying to beat Tempest. So it's a decent car. I mean, eventually you're going to get some better stuff and outgrow that one, but it's a good starter car.
Yep. LC500. Are we talking about the LC?
Mr. C, hey. Yeah, what about the LC500?
Were we talking about the LC500? I was looking at something else when you were discussing that.
Race and talk about guitars.
Tier 3 Mustang GT with the Star Premium, it's okay. That'll go through all 3 Tempests if that's what you're building it for. It's not a live racer. Best live battle Tier 2 car right now, top ones are probably like your Ferrari GTOs, your Rocket Bunny Mazda Miatas, and a few others. But one of the underrated one is actually the Legends Mercedes is pretty good in Tier 2.
I mean, if you're trying to get a basic starter car, it's worth upgrading, but if you're looking for a really good tier 3 car, no. But one thing about tier 3 is the majority of people don't like tier 3, right? Most of us get a couple of tier 3 cars, we beat the bosses with it, and then we don't really drive tier 3 cars again unless we have to.
My biggest problem with tier 3 and lower live racing is this. You're not making cash, and you're going to spend way more cash than you're ever going to make. So you want to make the maximum possible cash right away in live racing, and the only way to do that is tier 5. Tier 4 is okay if you're racing against tier 5 cars as well, because if you beat a tier 5 car with a tier 4 car, you make tier 5 cash. So that's the key. If you're living in live racing in tier 2, tier 3, you make the RP, you know, maybe a little bit less than tier 5 as well. You make RP, you get your keys, but you're just not going to make the cash. That's the problem.
Yeah, you get the most cash and the most respect points when you're racing tier 5 cars. Tier 4 is really good, but anything under tier 4 is kind of like, well, that's something you're probably either going to do if you're new or just occasionally for fun. Type of deal.
This game is not hard. It's more obnoxiously expensive if you want to proceed really fast. You just got to be patient, really, is the thing with this game.
I mean, I've been playing for going on 8 years now. You got to have a lot of patience to play this game, like a lot. Dave, did we disconnect already? Where'd he go? Uh-oh. Crap. I think we got one raise and it must have disconnected. I didn't even notice.
It happens. Unfortunately.
For some reason, this game hates us. Is he still even... There he is. Here we go. Melon says, something is not really a good car. I'm not really sure what he's referring to, but maybe the 300 SL. I don't like... I don't like the 300 SL. I mean... Vladimir says it's on the top of the tier 2 bracket. For tier 2 bracket for what? Fastest? Or... I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but I've never been a big fan of the 300 SL personally. I just don't like it. Oh wait, it was my turn to win. Okay. I'm slow anyways. Oh yeah, the Technica, I don't really like the Technica too much. There's a lot of great cars in this game, and there's a lot of cars that are really bad, so unfortunately, you know, it's hit and miss. It's a pain in the butt trying to just upgrade stuff out of the blue in hopes that it's good, so generally you want to try and find somebody who knows something about the game and ask about cars before you level them up, because a lot of them are just not worth it. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do with them, but you've got your cars that perform well for everyday stuff, which is most cars. I mean, most cars are fast enough to beat the bosses, except for one that comes to tier 4. There's a little bit of complications there, but most cars will kind of do what you need to do for daily stuff, but when it comes to showdowns and live racing, that's where things get rough, and then it really matters what car you're driving at that point. But I mean, if you're just trying to beat the boss, I would say like 95% of the tier 5 cars can beat the bosses, right? It gets a lot harder when you're doing Tempest 3 tier 4, because then you have to have the top speed and the acceleration, and a lot of those tier 4 cars don't have both. I'm not really sure why they set it up like that, but you know, it's not too big of a deal to spend like 300 gold to switch cars. Like, let's just say you got one tier 4 car with good top speed, one tier 4 car with good acceleration. You can always spend a little gold to switch back and forth for the sprint races and the speed traps, and then it's easy. But trying to get a car that can do both sometimes is really hard.
Yeah, I mean, the main hiccup with Tempest usually happens with tier 4 in Tempest 3. Before that, I don't really see any of it being that difficult as long as you have the car upgraded enough. The mistakes that some newer players make is particularly for the second Tempest, which only has sprints and no speed traps. is they lock in cars that are good on the Evo but lousy on the sprints. The NSXR comes to mind, for example. You don't Tempest 2 isn't that quick for the final times. You can easily use like a tier 4 car that basically sprints better rather than worrying about top speed and has a decent time. The problem with most of the good newer tier 4 cars is that they either are really good at speed traps and lousy at sprints, or the older cars that are really good at sprints and lousy at speed traps. But all that being said, one of the first collections cars for anybody to get should be the tier 4 Jack Roush, because that one is not that many tokens, and that'll take care of your Tempest tier 4 for you once you get that car. Hopefully you get lucky eventually to get some stage 6s as well, but it's not really good in live racing without stage 6s. But it's definitely good enough for Tempest without it.
Yeah, the tier 3 Mustang from the dealership probably won't be very good at live racing.
No, nothing from the dealership for cash is really any good for live racing. Just so you know.
Except for maybe the Boxster, but you can get a better version, a slightly better version with out of the crates.
I mean, the truth is, yes, the Boxster is viable, but the GTO is free too, and it's better. So,
could I do a garage tour? It would take like 2 hours to go through 80 garages, so that would be a video that would take forever to make, and nobody would probably want to watch that whole thing.
I did one like years ago, real quick. Like you just flip through all the garages and like, look what I got, yay, and then you're done. You don't explain every car. You're just like, look, look. It's doable.
I mean, the majority of the cars I do have aren't even upgraded. They're just sitting there collecting dust anyway. So I don't know. I just think that would be a boring video. A long.
I like to see them.
Long, boring video.
Long, boring video. Best non-paid live race car. So this is a question that gets asked a lot. What's the best live racer, best live of this? So here's the problem. A best live racer in the 12-second range, maybe a lousy live racer in the 9-second range.
Yeah.
The best live racer in 9-second range might be a lousy live racer in the 7-second range. And sometimes a great live racer in 10.2 is a lousy live racer in 10.6. That's the problem. Okay, so there is no such thing as the best. They're only best within certain points.
Yeah.
After that, it's, Pagani Utopia being a free car is one of the best. One of the best. I definitely think it's one of the top tier 5 free live cars. Your elite tuner cars, some of them are top of the line live racers. LC 500. The CA Corvette could be pretty good in the slower lobbies, extremely good actually, not just pretty good. But again, nothing's perfect in every lobby. Okay. So swapping is something the players invented back in the day, because in the old days, if you win more than twice in a row, the computer bumps you into a faster lobby and you start losing. So the players developed a thing called swapping, where one player would lose, the other player would win, and vice versa. They just keep swapping it back and forth. Back then, it was mainly to keep everybody in the same lobby so they can keep giving each other RP that way. Nowadays, it's just RP swap. It's basically what it is. Like, I give you one, you give me one. Let's get some RP quickly.
Yeah. It's just a quick, easy way to race. I mean, sometimes you connect to somebody, right? And you can just sit there and race back and forth for as long as you want. But other times you go into live racing and it takes like you challenge somebody, they disconnect or they refuse, then you got to wait for somebody, then they disconnect. It's just a much faster way to live race and earn points and game cash and stuff quickly.
Yep. Hey, Tommy. What's going on?
But yeah, a lot of people love swapping, I've noticed.
Well, a lot of people are in the crews that require them to make like 300k RP a day, which means you're gonna have to swap. I do not care for swapping personally, but I do it on my own accounts because, hey, why not? Quick RP, get it done. Then I can focus on tuning cars and messing around in live. So that's what I do. Everybody got their own thing. I mean, it's, everyone's different.
If your lobbies are full of maxed out F1s, you might want to try and reset up your car differently or choose a different car or something if you're losing. I mean, once you get a car pushed, I don't know, you don't want to get your cars pushed, right? Generally, we set up live racing cars on low upgrades. Like, there's very specific ways to set up cars for live racing nowadays, and only some cars have those types of setups. So you need to find like the low performance point high evo cars, and then you got to drive them slower than the lobby time or slower than the dyno time. Live racing is an art. Like, setting up a car for live racing is an art. And somebody else said, when do we think the Bullide or the Noir or whatever? It's hard to say. I mean, next time they have a Bugatti event, there's a possibility those cars could be part of it, but there's also a possibility that some other Bugattis could be part of it. So there's really no way of knowing what they're going to choose to use in the future. So it's just one of those things where your guess is as good as mine on something like that. I mean, there's probably 1,500 cars in the game, and they could use pretty much anything for any event. So someday, there's a good chance they might be adding those cars into an event again, or just have them in the daily deals for sale, or put them in the race pass. Who knows? But yeah, nobody really knows for sure on something like that.
Yep. So now Ronnie says lobby don't work as before. You can maintain longer now. I don't know what that means. I mean, the lobbies, in my opinion, works pretty much the way they always did. They're always tweaking matchmaking a little bit. You still can get bumped, although it's arguable that you may not get bumped as quickly as before, because for a while they really turned it up. You screw up, you bumped. I think they turned that dial back down recently, so now you're not bumped as quickly.
Oh, that's good.
You still get bumped. Yeah, that's good. You still get bumped.
Now, what I used to do with my Dino beaters back in the day, I would win 5 and then I would intentionally lose 5, and then I would win 5, and the ones I lost I would run really slow. I mean, it's the same thing as swapping, but
yeah, I mean, the slow runs, resetting the cars through slow runs still works. I mean, that's still the system, apparently.
Takes a while.
Takes a while though, yeah, because I think because also it has to sink into the system. One of the things we forget is, you run it and you go, okay, I ran a 15, now I should go to a slower lobby. No, it doesn't work that way. You need time for the system to catch up to you. So, so that's what Ronnie meant. Yes, correct. I noticed as well that they dialed back the bumping. Okay, for a while they were bumping you instantly.
Yeah, it'd be like 2 races bumped.
Yep, 2 races bumped. Now, of course, I tested this last night in theory. So I did a 8.0 run in a 10.6 lobby, instant bump. Okay, now if I was in that 10.6 lobby and did 10.4, no, you're not going to get bumped. So that's what, if you're talking about stability in that sense, yes, running a little bit under dyno doesn't kick you like it used to. Okay.
If you do it enough times, it will, though.
If you do it enough times, I mean, I've kicked people from lobbies because I think it's fun to race them hard, and then next thing you know, we're all kicked. But stability is a little better. One thing they did change, and this is something I noticed at least, is they're adding people into the lobby based on what you just ran. So what we see, like, there's going to be a few guys you always see in the lobby that doesn't change. But the new guys coming in are kind of based off of what you've been running. So let's say if you are running on the faster end of the lobby, you start getting more and more challenging opponents. But if you're running slow and winning, you might get less and less challenging opponents. It just, that's coming in. Not the ones already in the lobby, but coming into the lobby. Yeah, and that can eventually change your lobby.
They keep changing the way the live racing lobbies work. I mean, it's still kind of the same basic principle, but they tweak this, they tweak that, so it's always getting weirder and weirder.
I think they're doing it primarily in the interest of fairness to all players. you know, ultimately, the developers don't want the
Darker,
guys
thanks,
that
buddy.
can win to keep winning all the time. They don't. They never wanted that. They always wanted people to lose, so they
Yeah.
want to build more cars. Okay, that's the bottom line. It doesn't work for them if one guy with one car is dominating live constantly. So, um, you don't want to do that. You want the players to lose, so you want them to lose, and then therefore they build new cars. So that's why live racing is one of those things they've always been tweaking, and I think they do care that if newer players complain that some guy came in and took my 200K, I'm quitting this game. That's not good for the developers. So
Yeah, I wish people
they've
wouldn't
been
do that. They set up a car to dominate, and then they go in the lower, like the slower lobbies. You'll have an experienced player who sets up a car just to intentionally destroy noobs and take their money. I can't stand those players right there. I mean, if you're in the faster lobbies and you want to bet and stuff, that's fine. But please don't go take advantage of noobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, see, Black Phantom's got the idea here. Like you bump down your golden for betting. The problem is you might be golden for betting for some of the guys, but the guys that are coming into the lobby, and I had this happen to me a few times. I jump in the lobby with a well-tuned car. This guy instantly jumps on me and bets, and I know that's what's been happening is he's been winning. He's
Yep.
happy. He's like, man, I've been taking 200Ks left and right. Guess what? I took his money. So it's tricky, you know. That's part of the fun, right? You don't know for sure if you're going to beat the other guy when you throw that
Yeah.
200K up, unless you're into Tuatara, in which case most of the time you will take the other guy's money, and that's why I don't play with those cars. Like I just don't bother with them. In the 992 911s, you know, when they jump at me, I'm like, eh. Now, if I'm in my torque, I will take on a 992 because my torque will run faster than the 992 will, so he's going to have a bad day. So I only bring the torque in mostly to annoy people that have other heavily down-tuned cars. It's just the way it works. So, you know, when you know what the cars can do, that's part of the nice thing about having knowledge on YouTube. You could look it up, learn about the car, and go, I'm not falling for that one.
Now, you made a video recently, or a few months back, about cars to avoid live racing, right?
The biggest downtuners. I made a video on the biggest downtuners. Yeah. I'm not saying avoid them. I'm just saying my attitude is never about you should never race this guy. My attitude is you should know what this guy can do. Okay. That's the key. You know, you got to know what the guys can do so that you don't get suckered into a deal you don't want to go into.
Yeah.
For example, I don't race 200K against the CTS 5 V Blackwing in certain lobbies. Simply, I just don't think I'll win.
That thing will
unless I know
stomp
I
you.
have a car that'll beat it. You know, that's different.
That car will stomp your buttocks into the ground if somebody
Yeah,
knows
in
how
some
to tune
lobbies,
it.
yeah. But in 10.2, I will race the CTS 5V for 200K because I know that it's not going to do the same thing it's capable of in 11 or 12. So that again goes back to which lobby you're in.
Now, like
Okay,
the Cento... Oh, go ahead. You're not done.
No, go ahead, Danny. Go ahead, Danny.
Now, like the Cento I'm racing right now, this car, right? It was stomping people into the ground like you couldn't believe. And then I did it too many times and it's been pushed. And I'm actually trying to reset it during this live stream. So I retuned the parts, I changed stuff around. And I'm trying to do a lot of slow runs. So I'm going to try and reset this thing and see if I can get it back into a car that just destroys everybody and everything again. So after the stream, I'm going to reset it back to the way I had it, and hopefully the car will be reset. But next time, I'm going to be more careful that I don't destroy people like that so it doesn't get pushed, you know?
Now, I remember when Atlas put out a 9.2 lobby Cento tune when this car was still more fresh, and that lobby was full of them. Like people were running around with the Cento going, I'm at this new, you know, beast of a car with low performance point, high Evo.
Yeah.
It looks like Natural Motion tweaked the car since then because it doesn't do it anymore.
Maybe they did.
They did. The numbers are not right.
Like, this car used to just dominate, and then it stopped. Yep. And I was like, oh, I must have pushed it. Maybe it's the fact that they changed it. I don't know.
They changed it. they made it much harder. You know, it used to be really tough. Now it's, I don't know. This car used to have really high evo. Now it's hard to get high evo. You can
like
still do it. It's just tricky.
I think you set it up on like stage 3 or stage 4 parts, and it gets good numbers.
Back then, yes. Now you just do that, it's lousy. So,
interesting.
Yeah, all the points are in the engine upgrades now. So you need to sacrifice a lot of performance points because engine gives you a ton of performance point increases. So you have to balance it out. It's very hard to tune this car. Not to say it's not good. It can still be good. It's just harder to set it up. Yeah, I agree with you, Ronnie. You don't need to run 20 races to reset. I mean, a few slow races, put the car back in the garage, leave it for a day, and it seems to bump down a little bit. Now,
I think it depends on how many times the car has been bumped, though, too.
Well, I mean, if you like what I did with my torque, right? I started off, that car starts off with like a 10.9 dyno, and I'm running not sevens, but like 8.8s, 9.2s. Yeah. Next thing you know, you're in like the 10.3 lobby. Then you run 8.8s, 9.2s. Next thing you know, you're in 9.6 lobby. To bump that back down to 10.9 is next to impossible. I mean, it's going to take a lot of work. But one lobby, like if let's say you had your card set up for 11.8 and you did a 11.4 and it bumped you, 1 or 2 races slow and it gets you back in there. Just leave the lobby, do a few slow races, come back and you're good.
Yeah, if you're smart, after you get bumped, you'll start running slow. Now this car, I did push it and push it and push it, and I got bumped and bumped again, and then bumped again. They must have bumped it like 15 times, it felt like, and then it just was getting destroyed by everything at that point.
Yeah, so. Yeah. You fell for the old school system of if I just go a little faster, I'll keep winning. Right?
JP,
eventually you can't go any faster and you're done. So
yeah, JP says, screw this. I got bumped and didn't refuse. Yeah. I don't know. You know how this game works. It's all kinds of crazy and stuff. All kinds of crazy.
That happens a lot with this. I mean, that's the thing about live racing. It's kind of fun for me because of that. Because you're always trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Does this work? Does that work? Yeah. What would you all say is y'all's favorite car?
All of
That's
them.
hard to say. That's very hard to say. I mean, in this game, it's changing constantly.
If it looks cool and it wins live races, it's on my favorite list. But
yeah,
there's 1,500 cars in the game. There's loads of great ones. There's lots of horrible ones, but it's so hard to pick a favorite. I mean, there's so many good cars. I could go through my garage of favorite cars, and I mean, there's probably like 40 of them, 50 of them in there, and it's like, how do I pick one of these as a favorite? You know? Do I go by looks, or I don't know.
I get bored, so I tend to change cars just to change. Not because it's not my favorite. Like, I love the Bach Mono, as you know. I love that car, and I love it in real life too. I like the concept, but is it my favorite car? By no means. I barely have used it in the last 4 years, but it's still my favorite car. If you want to ask me, what's one of your favorite cars in the game? Bach Mono. I love that thing. Koenigsegg's. I love the Koenigsegg's and the Jescos. All the Koenigsegg's are great. Agera RS looks great. I mean, it's a cool car. It's lousy in live, but if you're talking about favorite car in live, well, then it changes, right? It's I might not even like the look of my favorite car in live, but it's good, so I use it. That kind of thing.
All right. Do we have any videos about ABCs of live racing? Yeah, I mean that's a pretty complicated deal. I mean, I've probably got several videos here and there that go into that. I mean, if you go to YouTube and you just go to my channel or just type in like Danny Lightning live racing, probably all kinds of stuff's going to come up. I mean, I can't tell you what was the best video I ever made about that, but I mean, I definitely have videos about that, but there's probably several of them that touch base on this aspect or that aspect, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I should probably look through my own channel and see if there's a specific one that goes through
yeah.
the details of that better than the others. But definitely, I mean, we
Nope.
definitely have some videos on that. But things have changed over the years. I mean, once we figured out the low performance point, high evo settings, I do have a video on how to set up a car for live racing. And not all cars have good live racing setups, but that's probably one of the most helpful. I mean, generally you got your lobbies every 0.2 of a second, so like 12.0, 12.2, 12.4, 12.6, 12.8. You know, that's basically how the lobbies work for the most part. That's the general basics of it. And then if you can get a car on low upgrades that will get high evo points, low performance points, then run right at the time that you set it to, those are the ones that normally do really well for live racing these days. I mean, you could go,
Yeah.
you could write a book on this stuff. You could just go into hours worth of details on. It's crazy, and they're always tweaking the lobbies and tweaking the live racing setups. But the low performance point high evo tunes are currently the best live racing setups.
To a point. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the car as well. The car, the specific lobby. This is why I keep going back to this concept. You're good with a car in a particular lobby. You're not going to be good with that car in every lobby.
Yeah.
Right. So the M5 gray Pride car sucks. The M8. I mean, M8, M5. They all kind of stinks.
Is that the convertible?
Yeah, the convertible Pride cars.
Yeah.
Stinky.
A couple of those Pride cars were good, but not
Pride
all
Porsche is not bad. The Porsche Taycan is not bad. But but live racing is tricky because people assume a parameter and then go, okay, this works for everything. It's unfortunately not that way. What works in 10s, 11s very well doesn't work in 9.6, for example, where I'm messing with right now mostly because of my crew, hanging out in there. Now, but when you go into 8s, when you go into 7s, everything changes yet again. You gotta kind of figure out where you want to be. Most players what they tend to do is they'll start off with a slower car, go into live, win some, and then start losing and go, okay, I need to upgrade my car more. So they make it faster. They get into a faster lobby, new cars, different cars. Oh, I'm winning some, but I'm losing again. Upgrade more. Or I see that car winning, I'm going to get that car and build that car. And then you find that car wins a few times and you start losing again. That's the pattern.
Thanks, Melon.
So you have to really figure out, how to tune cars, how to set them up, and then what lobby you want to be in. And then you get to know the people in the lobbies. Quite honestly, we tend to know what lobbies we're in by the players that are in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I see that dude all the time. That's 10.2. That's literally how a lot of us who played a long time gauge lobbies. You walk in there and you go, oh, the Russians, this is 9.2, 9.4. It's weird, but it's true though, because some people like to hang out in the same exact lobby all the time, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, but it helps me because I can gauge where I am. Particularly helpful when I'm trying to bump down. Like, I see Russians. Oh, they're gone. I bumped down. All right. That kind of thing. So, but fun stuff. I mean, I think don't overthink it. Just, go and have fun. That's really what all comes down to. And we do have a lot of videos online for different things, but one thing you want to be careful of, and this happens on YouTube all the time, is you find a video that says, live lobby destroyer, blah, blah, blah. Because the way the game's designed, live lobby destroyer video made back in 3 years ago probably is junk today. So keep
it'll
that
be
in
great
mind
for like 5 races.
or 3-4 races and you're done. Yeah. So you want to be careful with those.
Yeah, if you're beating the Dino by a lot, make sure you do just as many not beating the Dino by a lot.
Right. Now, low performance point high evo, again, it's good, right? But you still want to know which lobby you're in, because what happened is if you just randomly select the low performance point level and a high evo point, you could land in a Dino range that's kind of in the middle or slow end of a bracket. It actually hurts you. So you still want to make sure you're in the right lobby for whatever setup you have. Sometimes it's worth it to lose a few evos and tweak into a better lobby than having that super high evo but in a bad part of a lobby. So that's more advanced tuning stuff. I know I had a few videos on this. I just can't remember what I said in them. And yes, there can always be a faster car in there that can beat you. Sometimes it's because they just built the car and the computer's giving them a break. They throw them in your lobby. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's probably no one car that's always going to win. I mean, you could have the best car in the world, have it set up to destroy, but somehow somebody else got their car into a lobby it shouldn't have been in, and that person destroyed you with your car that's set up to destroy everything. So
yep. So I take losses all the time, not necessarily because I wanted to lose, but mostly just for purpose of figuring out what's going on in this particular lobby, especially if I build a new car. I'm not keen to start running it super hard and destroying the car. So there are a lot of reasons why I lose. And also I try to keep races close, and sometimes I slow down too much and lose, and that happens. So, you know, there's a limit to the benefit of high evo, right? So a 630 pp car with 2,500 evo has the same dyno as a 650 pp car with 1,900 evo. You're still going to land in the same lobby, just so you know. And if the higher evo setup is harder to drive, you may want to run the lower evo setup. That might be easier to drive. So those are things you want to consider, particularly cars like the Jesco Red had that issue, right? If you put it to 3,000 evo, it looks great. Good luck shifting it.
There's also a few weird cars, when you max them out, for some reason they just win live races. For example, the Nissan Juke, like not necessarily maxed out, but that car shouldn't necessarily win live races, but it does. Then there's the Elite Customs what is that, the S15?
Yeah, that's
the Sylvia
lobbies well. Yeah.
You max that car out, it wins most of the live races, even though it shouldn't. Going by the numbers and the tune and how things normally work, for some reason that car gets in a really good lobby, even though it should not be. So there's always some exceptions to, you know, what works and what doesn't.
The Boss Arrow Sylvia does that too, because one, it beats Dino, and two, it seems to lobby well despite the numbers.
That's a cool car.
That's a good car for just. I don't think it's a good car, but somehow it just is. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the numbers, you go, and then you go race it, and you go, wow, this thing actually does pretty well. So it's like that.
I found
there are a few cars like that.
A few cars where I'm like, this isn't going to do well, and then you're like, whoa, it did.
Yeah, exactly. And but it kind of, if you don't try it, you probably won't know. So that's why I at least give them a shot, take a look, and then go, really, it does suck. Okay, too bad.
And there's also cars that the numbers look amazing, and then, for example, like the Elite Tuners GTR, it's got this great low performance point high evo tune, but for some reason it will not win a live race.
Which one, the R34 or the R35? The newer one or the older one?
The older one.
Oh, the R34. That one, I did okay with it. I mean, I'm not saying it's a lobby killer or anything, but that one did okay. The R35 does not. But like the GR Supra, the problem with the GR Supra is it's quite good, but people kill it. Like the blue one. They just don't. Yeah, they don't know how to.
The blue one's the good one. For me, I can win live races. I get confused. R34. As a dyslexic guy, man, you give me a bunch of numbers, I'm like, I don't even know what's happening there.
The square one, but the more squarish one is the.
That's the one that wins for me, and the other one doesn't.
No, the R35 is the more rounded one. That one does not do well in live.
Yeah, even though
but that one sometimes is in showdown. You know what I mean? So
All right, I need to run to the restroom, guys and gals. My bladder's yelling at me, so I'm gonna put the "be right back" thing up on the screen, and then I'll leave you guys with Max for a couple minutes. But I will be right back. I apologize, but I gots to pee.
Why don't you run an ad? Danny, so you can get some revenue from it.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right. All right. Let me see. Any questions here? Low PP. So yeah, back to the low PP high evo. Yeah, the ultimate low performance point high evo isn't always the most helpful anymore. That's just kind of the way it is. Uh, Darker Knight tuned his striker to win live races in one gear. Well, that's actually not bad if they're bots. It's good for grinding out keys when you not in the mood to race people and looking for players. Sometimes it's actually helpful to have that. So, but the striker is one of those to a terrorist that you could bump it into more of like a lobby with more players. But if I see one and they challenge me, I rarely want to race them. It's just because I don't want to waste my time more than anything. So, and if you're not betting money, is it really even worth it for you because you're getting no RP from it? So it kind of cuts both ways. But I have my Tuatara Striker build as well. I just don't use it much. Wait, I lost. That's bad. How did I lose? It's bad when you lose against a map race opponent. Something's not right. Yep, 15 live races in 4 minutes. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just want them keys quick. Actually, so the bots. This is where the old Finn Tier 2 car, boss car, was really popular for a while. I think you can get 800 RP from Finn's car in live against a bot, and with wildcard over 1,000 something per race. So that used to be the bot finder for people because of that. That high evo, not high evo, high RP from the Finn's car. You back, Danny?
I'm back.
Welcome back. So I do not have the 5th car for this collection sprint thing. I can only do 5 cars. So kind of a bummer.
I'm fixing my earphones here. I need new earphone tips. The little tips keep staying in my ear when I take the earphones out now. So,
all right. So Mohammed, the answer to that is yes, but it's going to cost you. In collections, they just added an update not long ago that has all the boss cars as part of collections now. If you have enough collections tokens, you could buy that boss car now. Buy another challenge at the boss car. Let me not say this wrong.
They don't have all boss cars, do they? I think it's only some of them.
Only the initial ones. So Shauna's Tier 2, like Shauna's Evoke is in there, but not like the Tempest cars. If you're losing against the initial bosses, I can tell you right now you're rushing too hard. You gotta take time and just build your car more. You cannot and should not lose to the bosses.
Yeah, a lot of people rush through it and just try and get it done. And they mess up and lose. I mean, the boss cars aren't very good anyways, so if you do miss out on them, it's not a big deal, but it is nice to have them.
It's collections, right? It's part of the collections. That's all it is. I mean, it's not... I never use the boss cars for anything. Except now, because they tell you to win 75 damn races with the boss cars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean... Win 750 live races with the worst live racing car we've ever added to the game.
Yeah. I mean, my crew members are doing it, and I kind of like watch the chat and go, I can't believe you guys are doing that, because quite honestly, it's torture.
Yes.
So
you gotta find someone to swap with almost.
Yeah, so again, Mohammed, as I said earlier, when you get to collections, once that's available to you, you can, by paying collections tokens, get another run at Shauna down the line. Okay? So you cannot have a second race right now. Boss cars are one-shot deals. Same thing in Tempest. Once you lose, you're done.
Yep,
Okay?
that's it.
So I think I've answered your question. If you have more questions from there, our teammates are crazy. Yep. I can't, somebody went through 75 live race wins with Victor's Project 8 on my team. Took them hours to do it. And I go, I don't know why you're doing it. I just don't get it. So
They need them tokens. Gotta collect them tokens.
well,
All right, we'll
they
do a
want
couple
that
more
veteran,
races, then come back out to
they
the
want that
lobby.
veteran thing. So you cannot have it, Mohammed. Not yet. No. You just keep playing the game. You'll get your chance to get it again down the line. And the car is not even important. None of the first boss cars, in fact, all of the first boss cars are absolutely terrible in this game. So, would I recommend the Solus GT? Absolutely. Would you be able to set it up properly? Do you have the parts? That's the question. The Solus GT is a great car.
You need a couple
Definitely.
stage 6 for that one, right? For live racing?
No. For live racing, no, not necessarily. But again, with stage sixes, you will have a better setup than without. Um, Not to say that without is completely garbage. That car's so good that, with stage 5 setups, you can still do very well with it. This Envision 74 is really good too. I like this car.
Yeah, that's a cool car. Yeah, the Solus GT, that's a really good car. Now, I do have some videos on that on how to set it up and everything else.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the better cars in the game. I mean, it's one of the fastest cars in the game. It's got a good live racing setup where you don't need to have it maxed out. I mean, it's a nice car. It's a really nice car.
Oh yeah. Solus is one of the best cars in the game. Period. If I think they gave it to us as a paid race pass award too. So a lot more people have it now than before.
Yeah, the Envision 74, that's one I would have liked to have gotten, but I didn't. And that's a great car. I can't remember why I didn't get it, but I think it was like a showdown prize or something, and I couldn't quite get enough.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but I missed it for some dumb reason.
That's we miss stuff all the time, but
Yeah.
it's but the Solus is definitely it's probably one of the best cars in the game as far as live racing and variable tuning in different lobbies. The STI is a terrible tier 2, Mohammed. I hate to tell you.
Oh, that's
the
car is
worst tier 2 in the
trash.
game. Yeah,
That car
that's
is
probably why you lost.
complete trash. I got that car and I was so excited, and I leveled it up, and I quickly found out that this car is awful. Awful.
Yep. So anybody who's new in here, let me tell you this big tip about this game, okay? This game's cars and real life has nothing to do with each other. Nothing.
Yeah.
The best cars in real life can be absolute garbage in this game and vice versa. So do not look at a car from real life you love and go, it must be good in here, because it probably won't be. Or it might end up being super good, even though you hate the car in real life. So just keep that in mind.
Andy Style, thanks, buddy.
And that for anybody who's a newer player, if go look up my Veteran Noobs Adventures videos, it actually helps kind of walk you through the beginning sections, how to manage yourself, how to build yourself. I gave that account away. It's at like rank 100 something, and I think it's still out there with my crewmate. The thing about the beginning is, if you know what cars are good, and I do from playing over time, you can just kind of follow the template through the beginning and you'll do fine. Focus on the Ferrari, get the legend cars built. Don't spend those silver keys until you have 750 at least. I mean, there's things that you do or don't do that can really make or break your beginning of your game and give you a better experience. So, but that series would give you all the tips that I give to everybody over and over again. So feel free to check that out.
Yeah, when it comes to WRX, there is that tier 5 one. It's like a white hatchback with a wing on it. That one was pretty good, but that was a paid car or a prize car.
That's a Fast and Furious car, and it was a down tuner. But nowadays, it's hard to use that. It get bumped too easily.
But yeah, the Elite Tuner's WRX is quite nice if you set it up properly. Yeah, the Gobstopper, William D. I liked that one.
Oh, the Gobstopper. Yeah, that one's only good on a specific setup, though. Again, I find those cars to be somewhat limiting because of what you need to do with it, and it kind of limits what lobbies it ends up in, and that's it, right? It's not that good once you upgrade it further. So I have it set up for like an ultra low performance point setup, but you know, it's a cool car. It's just not one I use very often.
Oh yeah. I can see.
Bless you. All right, round 2. Bless you.
Make sure you never sneeze into your microphone, guys, because the last thing you want is a bunch of spit and moisture hitting your microphone. So I pulled my shirt up over my face. That will ruin microphones if you sneeze into them. So just so you guys know.
Good tip. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm usually not wearing my microphone when I'm sneezing, so that's good.
All right. Sorry about that. Hopefully I didn't blow anybody off of their chair with that sneeze.
I think everybody's fine. Hey, that's interesting. So Nabel is using the Ford. I think that's the Ford, what you call it, NASCAR. We were talking earlier about cars that shouldn't be good, but somehow it's okay. That's one of them. It's like, it really shouldn't be that good, but it turned out pretty decent. So, Lancer Elite car is pretty good at live as well, particularly because it has a Dino beating setup. The, what's that one? The Voltex Lancer Evo seems to be pretty decent in live racing too.
I've been stomped by quite a few of those, so I think if you know what you're doing with that car, you should be able to race it pretty good. Looks cool too. Looks really nice. Ooh. Oh, Vlad, you think I got bumped? Maybe. I'm not sure. I hate having bad sinuses, I'll tell you that. Bad sinuses. No fun. Now my head's all like stuff up after I sneezed.
So collections only offer the first series of bosses.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the Tempest bosses. So just keep that in mind.
Now, I think the Sesto Elemento was in there, wasn't it?
Was the Sesto in there? Let me look.
Pretty sure.
Maybe that's the one extra one they threw in, but let me see.
Well, that's one of the few boss cars that I actually like is the Sesto.
I mean, I like it, but it's unfortunately a relic at this point. No, the Sesto's not in here. It might be in here on a different collection, but not.
Yeah, there's there's 2 collections they added, and it's in one of them.
Yeah, it's in the limited series one. There it is, along with the Invincible, the Veneno, the Centenario, CNFKP, and SC20. So out of that 6 limited series cars, I would say the Invincible is the best option to get first. That's an actual usable live racer. The rest of them are pretty bad. So if you were to go for a limited series car.
Like the Sesto on stage 5 parts will win like, I don't know, maybe 6 out of every 10 live races for me. So it's not like the world's greatest car for live racing, but if you set it up on stage 5, it does halfway decent these days. All right, Muhammad says, is the Aston Martin DB12 a good car to compete with the Sesto? Are you asking about winning it, beating the boss and winning the Sesto? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, it'll cream the Sesto and the Tempest, but you got to build it enough.
Yeah, got to have enough parts on that thingy dingy.
It's a good car. I mean, it's actually a good live racer too. I on my newer account before I gave it away, that was my live racer that I set up for one of the slower lobbies. So yes, very good car for upgrading. Mind you, it's not going to destroy everything out there, but it'll destroy 80% of what's out there, which is good enough. So in any given lobby, you'll have probably only 2 or 3 cars that can really trump you easily. So keep that in mind. I like that car. It's actually, I like Aston Martins. They look cool too. So
James Bond car.
yeah.
I don't know if all of the James Bonds drove one, but I know in some of the older movies he drove some sort of Aston Martin.
That's the Aston Martin Legend car was the one he drove originally. He also, the original James Bond also drove a car that we don't have in the game, which is the Toyota 2000 GT, which is, which I would like them to add to the game. Or the 3000 GT. I forgot the number, but that's a classic.
Wait, that's a Toyota, the 3000 GT?
2000 it's 2000 or 3000. Hold on, I'll look it up.
I thought that was a Mitsubishi. Doesn't Mitsubishi?
No, it's 2000 GT. No. Mitsubishi's the 3000 GT. The Toyota's the 2000 GT.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking the Mitsubishi.
Yeah. So one of the James Bond movies, he had the 2000 GT. In fact, that's how it was. One of the ways they promoted it back then.
I'm not even sure what that is.
Bond car.
I don't think I've ever seen that car, honestly.
It's a very rare classic. Rare classic.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Somebody else was talking about that a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm gonna look that up. I don't know what that is, and then I forgot about it.
I have one at the Toyota dealership down the street.
Oh yeah?
I mean, the owner owns one, and he has it in the dealership lobby. Yep. I've seen it up close in person. So, I mean, it's cordoned off. I mean, you're not gonna touch it, but the thing's probably worth like $1 million.
Well, Hamid, I'm glad you're able to get the help you need, my friend. You know, when I started this game, I had a million questions, and nobody really had answers, I would ask the guys in my crew, hey, how's this work? Why is this doing this? Why is that doing that? And everybody would be like, oh, yeah. So eventually, once I got a good grasp of how everything worked, I mean, I was in the game about 8 months before I think I really got a great grasp on how the majority of it worked. And around that time, I was like, all right, I'm going to make a video or two to help a couple of buddies out. And I noticed it got a lot of views. Made a second one. It got a lot of views. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start making videos for this game. And it just kind of happened. So.
Yep. That's how it kind of starts, right? You just.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me too. It's kind of like the crew. I used to type up everything for the crew. Like I would type it up on Facebook or I type it up in the chat. And then after a while, I just said, you know what? I'll just make a video. It's so much easier. So I don't have to just type.
Yeah,
and
me and Max.
I like to talk a lot. So if I type the way I talk, you're going to be reading books from me. So
there's a lot of guys that put out, information videos, news videos, upcoming stuff. But me and Max have lots of tutorials, how-tos, walkthroughs, like videos on tuning, videos on setting up cars for this, you know what I mean? So, between me and Max's channel, you should probably be able to find anything you need to know about this game.
Yeah, I started a facts series as well, like a frequently asked questions series on my channel. I don't know how far I went with it. It was up to like round 5 or 6 before I stopped it. Because I get distracted and I start doing other stuff and I forget to go back to it. But that answered a lot of basic questions in the game. I have my own tuning video series, and I don't know how I have it set up in my playlists. I didn't separate them as carefully as you did. I just kind of lumped them all into one big old playlist. so it's a little
Yeah.
harder to search.
Yeah. I mean, even my
It's all
playlist, I
there.
kind of wish I would have set a few things up differently. So the
Yeah.
Sesto Elemento is only worth upgrading if you realize that it's not the world's best car. You're probably only going to use it every once in a while for this or that. You would have to really just love that car to make it worth upgrading at the moment.
Yep, exactly.
For me, it's worth having upgraded, but for a lot of people, probably not. Depends on how much you like the car. I mean, it's good at a few things. You can definitely win a few live races with it, but it's Like William D says, waste of resources. Mellon says, nope.
I mean, you know, given how many Lamborghinis are in the game that you need fusions for,
Ooh, F50 GT.
it is kind of, you do have to be kind of careful where you spend those resources at this point.
Yeah.
And the Sesto, unfortunately, to me, isn't gonna do it. You know, it's just not gonna do enough. Thanks, Miguel. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, I did that twice, actually. I did it, the first round of Veteran Noobs Adventures, I did less videos. I think I only did 3, and then I stopped. This round, I did probably like 7 or 8 videos before the account's no longer a noob account, so it's no point to keep going. You're starting to talk about more advanced stuff at that point. But this one actually ran through, I think, better than the first round because it followed every step of the way through the initial bosses, and then went into a little deeper into like where you should go from there before I ended the series. You know, at some point in the future, if I don't feel burnt out, I may do another round. But right now, I'm so burned out from playing and doing stuff. I just don't want to touch another new account again because it is a lot of work.
I don't think you're going to really miss anything by not having that car, though. Like, Shayna's car is, you know, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, it would probably just sit in your garage and collect dust anyways. So I really wouldn't worry too much about it. It's just so of a car. Pretty, you know.
Yeah.
You'll be fine without it.
Listen, most of us have missed one boss car here and there anyway. I mean, you're only on second boss. Quite honestly, if you're that upset about it, you could restart a new account and get there within a few days. So it depends on what you want to do.
I actually did that. I think I ran a couple of the bosses. I missed one, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize you only had one chance. So I reset my account, started over. It only took me like, I don't know, a week or something to get back to where I was the second time. But
yeah, I missed out on the tier 1 boss for all these years. In fact, I made a video recently of me actually collecting that from collections.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that completed my collection now. So, but yeah, the thing is, the game is not new anymore. So new players coming in should not have to struggle through the same things we did.
Yeah.
When you have so many people with so much experience already, you could just tell them, look, when you start off new, your main goal now with a game like this that's been around for years is catching up, right? You want to catch up with the veterans.
If all the new players would just go to YouTube and look a few things up, their life would be way better in this game.
Their experience, yep, absolutely. They wouldn't be complaining as much, that's for sure. And you may not end up quitting because you realize, okay, this part kind of sucks, but you know, it gets better.
Yeah.
Or it gets worse, depending on who you're talking to. You know, some of us are pretty jaded with this game at this point too, so we complain a lot. But the one point you have to keep in mind is, look, we're still here playing, right? If it's that bad, we would have quit already. So
love this game. I mean, there's definitely things I don't like about it. There's things I wish they would change. There's things I wish they would do differently, but it's a great game overall.
Yeah. But again, it's there's a lot to this game that can be fun. There's also a lot of repetition. So
yeah, like why did we need another Audi RS6?
Oh, I kind of like the fact that we're getting that, because out of all the new cars we're getting, that's the one I'm actually more interested in, because I think it's going to be nice.
It should be good, but we've already got, what, like 24
You
or
can say that for
12 or
Nissan
90
GTRs. And,
RS6s.
yeah, how many more Camaros do we need in our
Yeah.
life?
How many more
Yeah.
GTRs do we need?
Yeah, I think I counted the one. Actually, I did count one day how many GTRs we have. I think we have somewhere in the teens.
I heard on the
Like,
next update, they're going to bring out 34 new GTRs.
yeah, just keep adding them. It's all variations of the same car, you know. So
This one's going to look exactly the same as the next one, but it's going to have a different wing. The next one's going to be the same as that, except for a different color caliper, you know?
yeah, different caliper. It's great. Yeah, I mean the problem with these kind of games with limited variety of play is it's always repetition. But then, I was playing, talking about repetition, right? I was playing that Wukong game, Black Myth Wukong, that's so big in the news for a while.
Who?
You want to talk about repetition, man? You
Wukong?
keep getting killed,
The
right?
Monkey King?
The Monkey King, yeah. Hold on.
Oh, you're talking about Raid Shadow Legends?
Yeah.
I bet that's
No,
what he's talking
not
about.
Raid Shadow Legends. I'm talking about the Monkey King game. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second.
Okay. I don't think I've seen the Monkey King gang, but I know Shadow Legends added Wukong. I also used to play League of Legends back in the day, and Wukong was a character on there. I kind of miss League of Legends. That was a fun game. It would get crazy though. I mean, sometimes those games, if you had two really good teams, I mean, sometimes those games would last hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, most games were 15, 20, 30 minutes, but when you got two teams that were really good and super competitive, those games would go on forever, it felt like.
Yeah, well, the Black Myth Wukong, right, is based on this repetition concept too, because they make it really hard to fight the boss, and you get killed, and you have to repeat every enemy all the way back up to the boss. So you're basically running the same route over and over and over and over. After playing that game, I'm like, all right, so it's a more fancier way of repeating than CSR2, but I'm still doing the same thing. And any RPG game is a grind. Remember, farming for resources in RPGs is a thing too. If you ever play World of Warcraft, you know all about grinding. So,
you ever see the Alien Invasion game they advertise?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's like this little alien that runs around. I actually downloaded that, and man, that is the most repetitive game I've ever played in my life. Like, you can only get so far on that. If you don't spend money, you're stuck. I mean, you'll spend like months playing that game to get to a certain level, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, after like 3 months, you're like, I can't. You can play it for another 3 months and still not progress to the next level.
Yeah. Roblox has at least have some variety, but it is also repetitive. They're all repetitive. I mean, what game is not? Counter-Strike's repetitive. You're killing the same enemies over and over again. Right? Same maps. Go in there, shoot the dude. Go in there, shoot the dude. Go in there, shoot the dude. What is that? Tell me that's not repetitive. Gaming is repetitive. I think that's something we all accept. We just like to see some progress in that repetition. Especially with games like this, collecting more cars, getting a new car. That's kind of what keeps you going. And War Robots, getting a new robot, new weapon, upgrade my weapon, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not against repetition. I just, I love a story game just as much as the next guy. Like if it's a single player game with a long progressive story, I love those. But this game, it's just not that. I mean, the stories in here are laughable. I even skip reading them half the time.
I don't want to read that crap. I just want to do the race. I'm like, click, 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 click. I try and get through that as fast as possible. It's like, shut up. I'm not here to read a book. I'm here to race a race.
Yeah, like when the Tempest boss start talking crap, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Let me just kick your butt. Let's move on.
Exactly.
So it's but that's
shut up,
funny,
Shax. Go give Donna some of your keys. Yeah. She'll give you a Mini Cooper.
I want to hear anything out of you, Sneak. I'm just gonna go do this. That kind of thing. So
exactly. No, I don't want your super nitrous.
Yeah, in the end, we're all hamsters on wheels. That's all it is. So Yeah, that's all video gaming is. It's like you just keep running in a circle.
Somebody told me
On the
they
circle.
bought a super nitrous and still lost to the boss. I'm like, that's awful.
They must have had a stock car. I mean,
If you buy that, it should guarantee your win. Honestly, no matter
yeah.
how crappy your car is, it should like shoot you off to the moon like a rocket. Just poof, win.
Oh my god. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I feel bad for the lady who played Donna in this game, right?
Vladimir,
Like,
that's nasty.
can you imagine? Can you imagine if we run into her in real life? We'll be like, you know, I hate you. You know,
Hey,
we're like,
hey,
what?
why you keep
How
giving me
did
all
I-
these horrible cars?
Yeah.
She'll be like, what?
It's like, hey, that I took a photo shoot for $5 for that game. Stop bothering me. You know?
Yeah, they gave me $5. But yeah,
Yeah.
Donna's a real person. If you guys, all those characters are real people. They modeled.
Yep.
They modeled, and the
So
game
somewhere,
made a digital character of them.
yeah, for you British guys, somewhere in Britain might be those actual individuals you could run into.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine running into Donna somewhere. I know I would just be giving her the evil eye, like, ooh, it's her.
It's her.
It's her.
I'm happily married, Miguel. Don't worry. But I just, every time I look at Donna, I go, I feel bad for the actress. She's like the most hated individual in this game.
Yes.
So I'm sure they didn't tell her that when she was like auditioning for the position, right? They'd be like, that's a great job. It pays well. You just need to take a few pictures, and everybody will love you. You'll be in a video game forever.
Donna, give me my
Oh
keys
my
back when you see her in real life. I wonder if anybody's ever actually ran into her and cursed her out, and she's like, "What did I do?" Like, you're Donna. Like, what? I bet
exactly.
I bet somebody in real life that plays this game has seen her somewhere and yelled at her.
Oh, I guarantee you. I guarantee somebody's ran into her at some point. But Winpool, I think the best way, unfortunately, is to take the Gold Star Koenigsegg and lock it, or one is locking a Koenigsegg on anything you could lock it into. That's one piece. But the second piece is a Gold Star use the keys every so often, bronze keys to pull crates. I mean, there is no other easy way to get Koenigsegg parts. So this is why any event comes along, I always look at that first lock-in very carefully. What fusions do I need? Do I have a car that's already built? If I need fusions for that car, that's getting locked in. For example, I locked in a Pagani this time. I locked in Chevy last time because I needed fusions, and those free crates, bronze key crates, that's how you get them. So,
Miguel, I think there is a actual video that shows all the real characters. I believe you're right.
yeah, there is a video. I saw it. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of fun. They look like, fun people, but the game kind of ruined them for me. Like the Shax guy might be cool to have a beer with, but if I see him, I'll be like, "You're Shax. I hate you." That
What
kind of thing.
about what's the black lady's name that looks so angry? What's her name? She looks so freaking mad. I mean, she looks like she'd want to rip your face off. Like, if I saw her in real life, I'd be like, I'm gonna hide around the corner. She's gonna kill me. PETA, I think.
Yeah, PETA, yeah.
She looks so. I mean, they make her look like she's just ready to rip your face off. I mean, she's just the expression on her face. She's like, like, oh my god.
I bet you she's like the nicest person. Do you want a cupcake? You want to come in and have some tea? You'd be like, oh no, lady, I don't want you to axe murder me. I'm sorry.
Yes, you see her in the game, you're like, is that a demon or is that a human?
Like,
I'm
not sure.
Why did they make her look so mad? I mean, they just...
I mean, it's for the character. I mean,
I guess.
No. They probably told her, try to look angry, and she did. And they're like, whoa, that's great. We're saving that one. So why not? Why not? Looks good. We like it.
Yeah, look angry
so
for
Shax,
us. Like,
Shax is Bernie Ecclestone. Wow. He's even got his actual name. But, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that we know these characters are real people. Now I'm curious who
Yeah.
the Tempest dude is. The big guy. What's his name? 7 foot tall dude. Supposedly, I bet you he's like 5'5". He just buff.
7
And then
foot
they go,
tall.
yeah. Who was it in Tempest 2? Come on, Danny.
Tempest
You're
2.
killing me here.
Tempest 2. Tall guy. Is it the guy with
Tall
the
guy.
curly hair?
No. The boss. The one that like then Tempest 3 was his sister or something.
Oh my goodness.
Alte. That's it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, Alte looks like a big dude, right? Watch that if you meet him in real life. He's like 5'5" bodybuilder. Like, you've seen that before. Like you get guys on videos and pictures that look really buff and huge. Then you meet them and they're like, "Hey, you're shorter than me."
Goku wants to know why we hate Donna.
Oh, he was comparing them. Okay. Oh, well, if you pulled enough crates, like every time you go into key crates pulled, it's Donna that pops up and says, "Hey, I got some from Rare Imports just for you." And you pull those crates and you go, "Oh, look! Instead of giving you something nice, I got you crap. How
Here's
about
a
that?
Mini Cooper.
Yeah,
Here's a
mini.
1-star Ford Fiesta. Here's a
Yeah,
1-star crap burger. Here's a
yeah.
1-star poop sandwich.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
much.
even worse one is gold keys, and she goes, "Oh, I got a 3-star Aston Martin for you." It's like, I got that already from you from Silver Keys. Stop giving me crap. That's why she's so hated. She never texts me back. No, she just takes your stuff.
Yes.
She's like that salesman that tells you, there's a good chance we're gonna get you something good if you just put your hard-earned money right here. And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I knew you really wanted that Lamborghini, but hey, we got you a Pinto.
Yeah.
It's collectible. So
Well, we do have this rusted out Gremlin from 1970 that, well, the gas tank fell off, but you might be able to push it down the street.
So, Lucid Pay, the LC500 is definitely a car I would max out on Fusions and Stage 6s if I can. It's not necessarily the best maxed out in live racing, but it falls in a really nice spot. So even fully elite, fully maxed, fully fusioned in live racing, it's in a decent spot. But it's actually stronger before it gets there for live racing purposes. But yeah, I would max out the LC500 over time. The thing is, Lexus Fusions are really hard to get. So do not elite level 35 that car until you have all the fusions. Because then at least you could pull it on the crates without paying.
Yeah, never make a car a purple star until you're happy with the amount of parts you have for it, because it will become paid crates at that point, unfortunately.
Yep. So, I mean, that's like, the A-bars, that's interesting. I noticed that too. I don't get the A-bars anymore as often as other 1-star cars from polls. But I think that has to do with the fact that we keep saying the A-bars is good. So they probably turned it down and like, oh, they like that car. Let's not give it to them.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Like, it looks like a crappy little junker, but it's actually nice for a Tier 1 car.
I mean, that was one of my first live racers I used in Tier 1 to try to make some RP, make some keys. Nowadays, of course, you have other options, but still, I think the developers always watch our videos and read the comments on Reddit and go, oh, they like that car, let's make it harder. They want this, let's sell them this one.
Yeah, I guarantee you they have people who their job is 100% just to scour the internet and find out what videos are being made about this, what are people saying, what are people commenting. Let's go check Reddit, let's go check the Facebook posts, let's go over to the Discord servers. And, there's somebody, or at least several people that are, they're intel collectors. I guarantee you they got those.
Yep.
Out there.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's marketing research. They have to do it.
Yes.
So, they got to do that.
Max the Gamer said he likes this car. Oh, Put
Yeah.
it at a 0.00005 drop right in the crates now.
Yeah. Don't let them get it. Don't let them get it. So that's why sometimes I wonder, you know, how much do we want to like really talk about a car? But at the same time, I think recently at least they've been good about giving us better cars.
Oh, Max
All
the
right,
Gamer
Darker
says
Knight.
that
Let's
car
not
is bad.
spam. Let's not spam here. I hate Koenigsegg.
Max the Gamer says that car is bad. Oh, from now on, Don is going to give everybody that every single
Yeah,
poll for the next 3 weeks.
that's gonna be our next miles. That's gonna be our next PC car. Let's put that on there. I remember when years ago when they had PC cars come in, right? Every time I see a PC car, I cringe. I'm like, oh god, they picked the one car nobody freaking uses again.
Yeah.
So, and I think they do that on purpose too. If they see a car that was released and no one uses it,
Yeah.
go,
Let's use that.
Like, that's gonna be PC car next season. Let's make sure they get them. You know. No, you cannot lose it. Venom F5, it's a key pull car, random right now. It was available, I think, as a Prestige Cup car once, and it was available. It is a free car, but it's very hard to get randomly.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get it, it wasn't a race pass recently. I mean,
yeah,
that car pops up some way or the other every once in a while. It's hard to say when it's going to be available again, but if you do see it, it's totally worth getting.
Yeah, Venom F5, Roadster, the F5 regular, they're all good. The Roadster being slightly better, but you know, but again, it's not the be all end all for all cars.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of good cars now. Recently, like I said, the Cylindri that was just released, the F12 Cylindri, not bad. Okay, not great, but certainly not bad.
Pretty decent.
Porsche Rally is good. Okay, again, not
bad.
super good, but not bad at all. The Lamborghini Huracan, whatever Staretto, that one's probably
the Dom Toretto.
Yeah, the off-road Huracan is also okay. Like it's not as good as, it's not bad, it's not great, but it's okay. It's actually usable. So, you know, decent cars. I'm gonna step away for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, we got like probably about a few more minutes left on the stream.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I'll be back in a minute. Thanks.
Okay. What's up, Goat? What's up, Derek? Nice to see you guys. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cars that are decent, right? I mean, some people don't want the decent cars. Some people only want the absolute best cars. I mean, I'm happy with something that performs well. You know, if I can win 6 out of 10 live races, I think that's a pretty decent car. But, you know, there are some cars that just dominate everything. They destroy everything. You can't beat them if somebody knows how to set them up. Then there's the cars that will win, you know, 8 or 9 out of 10 live races. Then there's the cars that will win like 5 or 6. Then there's the cars that will win like a live race here, a live race there. Then there's the cars that won't win nothing. So there's definitely different ranges when it comes to how good a car is for live racing. But I mean, if I can win 7 or 8 out of 10 live races, I consider that to be a pretty decent car. And as long as the car looks cool and I enjoy driving it, that's fine. I mean, generally, I would rather pick something that's going to win more live races than less, but there are some cars that just look awesome, they're fun to drive, and it's worth it just to drive something different for a change, even if it's not the world's best, you know what I mean? Melon says, all the best live racers are free. I don't know, I've got a lot of free cars in this 8 years I've been playing, and yeah, a lot of the free ones have been excellent. I mean, some of them have been crap, but there's been a lot of really good free cars in this game for sure. No, I mean, I'm not really sure what the goodness ratio is between the free and the paid ones, but there's a lot of great paid ones. There's a lot of great free ones. I mean, a lot of people think this game has to be pay to get good stuff, but it's really not. It's just, you got to be patient, right? If you're patient, I mean, the first several years I played this game, I didn't spend a dime on it. I mean, eventually, you know, most of you guys, a lot of you guys know, like, I got a disability, I got an autoimmune disease. I can't do normal stuff. And when I started this channel, you know, my job was basically like, you know, you just need to quit. You're missing work all the time. I mean, I would go in there, I'd be vacuuming the floor, my back spasmed up. I'm just like, ugh. They pretty much said, you know, just resign or we're going to have to fire you because you can't do the job anymore. I wasn't really making any money at all, so I wasn't able to spend a bunch of money when I was really first getting into the YouTube channel and stuff. So, I mean, I pretty much did everything I needed to do as a free-to-play player for several years. Then the YouTube channel started making a little money, a little more money. So now I can buy, you know, I can buy a $20 car here and there every once in a while and all that good stuff. But
Oh yeah.
free players can get lots of great stuff if they're patient.
Let me tell you
For
this:
sure.
the guys that win the most in my crew are free to play players. You know, Nabel, Melon, these guys are not big paid players here, and I can tell you, they can pretty much win live racing against 99% of people out there. So
Yeah.
so it has nothing to do with really having the car, right? It's nice to have it, no doubt. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good to have more options, but you can have a free car that can do just fine in the game. And I tell new players this all the time: pick one, focus on it until you get better options, right? We have a lot of milestone cars recently that are decent in live, if not great. F5 Venom Roadster, again, was a free car. But your recent releases, the 1718 Spider Tier 5,
That's a cool
Porsche,
one.
that's a good one. Okay, your Porsche Rally 911, your Navara Gold Star, that's a decent car. Your Porsche Taycan Turbo something with we suck package or something. Okay, that one's good. The Nissan GTR, that the Japan spec that was released more recently, that one's good. The Nissan GTR KRC Japan is not bad either. So your elite tuner cars, quite a few of them are really good. So
Yep.
if you're a player, don't fret. I mean, it's not like you guys are not going to be able to beat. And it actually feels kind of good to take a free car and then whoop on somebody
Oh,
that
yeah.
obviously just got, you know, just spend a bunch of money to get this fancy prize car. The Lanzador concept, great car. You know, these are all free cars. They're all milestone cars, PC cars, and you know the none of these are bad. I mean, and you do have a few paid cars you can get access to now with collections. For example, the CCA50, one of the best Koenigseggs in the game. You can get that. You can get the Jack Roush Mustang. You can get all these really cool cars now. So, you know, the new M4
Yeah,
is a
the
good live
M4.
racer. The
That's
new
quite
M4 is a good
nice,
live racer.
actually.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Money doesn't mean you're going to win. Money will make you get more stuff. That's for sure. Money will allow you to get there faster. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Doesn't make you necessarily win. I mean, that's so pay to win concept in this game really isn't that strong to pay to
It's
win.
it's pay to do the big events, basically.
Yeah, it's pay to win the big events and pay to get stuff. That's you know, but that's the game, right? It's a collector game. If some people are going to want to collect everything, and if you want that, you got to pay. There's just no way around that.
Was the Aspark L good?
It is if you can get the fusions. It's not the problem with good versus excellent is a good car like the Aspark has great numbers, isn't too difficult to drive, but doesn't beat Dino. Okay, a better car is a car that has good lobbying, good numbers, and beats Dino a little bit. A great car is one that can be tuned to do what you want. Those are very few. Unfortunately, um, most of the new releases are kind of what I call build them but don't tune them kind of cars, because you really can't tune it. The final drive
Yeah.
goes right to 2.0, the tire goes right to one setting, and the nitro stays where it is, and you're just adding parts to adjust the lobby. You're not really tuning anything.
Yeah, it's really
As good as those
weird.
cars are,
I mean, a lot
they're
of
not
those
good.
cars, stage 5 and stage 6, same exact tune. I mean, it never used to be that way. I mean, I think somebody is just getting lazy saying, let's just set it up like this because I don't want to have to mess with setting up a tune. Just put it
Right.
this way, like everything
Yeah.
else
Yeah,
lately.
programming side, it's more work.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the other reason I think they do this is quite simple. They don't want to release more Dino Busters by accident. The way they are structuring these cars prevents it from being easily tuned into a Dino busting car. That is part of the things they're doing. And that they've been doing that for years, trying to get rid of Dino Busters or make them
Yeah.
weaker, make them less effective. But anytime they tweak the settings, it seems players will find a way. So now they're like, just release the same settings all the time, so they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
those cars are
laziness is
definitely...
probably a more likely. Think about the poor guy that's doing the shift patterns, right? Imagine every day you go in the office, they go, "Hey, we're releasing 5 new cars in 2 weeks, man. Get on it."
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
They
and I
release them so
remember.
fast now.
I remember Mills told me there's only one dude doing all the shift patterns in the game. So that guy must be going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's probably going, I'm just going to copy and paste this.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I would.
Yeah.
I mean, if my boss is giving me like 7 new projects a week, I'll be like, dude, it's gonna be copy and paste. I'm sorry. It's just I'll tweak it a little bit, but it's copy and paste.
Yeah, a
You just
lot
have
of
to
those
deal
are
with it.
only tunable on low upgrades.
Correct. Very low upgrades, and then it goes to 2.0 and you're done, right?
Yep.
Then it's all parts addition to change anything. You really can't tune it. Disappointing, quite honestly, but that's the trend that I see with a lot of new cars. So, which is all the more reason why sometimes I get an old car pulled from crates or something. I'm still excited because it's like, oh, this is a tunable and decent car. I like it. So.
It is hard to play this with a mouse.
Oh, this game? Yeah, it's tricky. You're doing pretty good though.
Yeah, I'm just using my mouse, man.
Already.
I gotta move the mouse to the left or the right of the screen to click on it. Because I don't have buttons set up for it, so.
Wait, you crashed, I think. Oh.
Yep.
They normally show the graphics of you flipping, but not that time.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing that. Oh, I hit the darn medium. I wonder if I can run over one of those boats in the water.
Nah, that's off the screen, man. That's,
I need to build a ramp, right? I need a ramp so I can just jump into the ocean. Oh, I bet Donna's on one of those yachts over there, just rolling in my silver keys. All right, now there's too many cars and I suck.
It gets tough, man. It gets tough on some of these legs. It's really. What is? So this is basically. I remember this game. I know this is in the corner of the garage, but this is basically same as another Outrun. This is all it is. It's Outrun. Yeah.
When I was a little kid, man, you would go to the mall and they would have an arcade at the mall, and this game was always there.
Yep, and this is a popular game too.
It was super popular.
Yeah.
Back in the day, this was like one of the best games ever. People would be lined up to play this thing at the arcade.
Oh yeah.
Super Outrun, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Oh, poops.
It was I remember it was an older Ferrari. They updated it with the newer Ferrari, of course, but back then it was like this Ferrari didn't exist. So I think it was the Testarossa or
I don't remember.
I'm
pretty sure there was a girl in the car too. I think
there was a girl in the car.
A dude and a girl. The girl had long blonde hair.
Yep. They're like flap in the wind. Pop, pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop, right? So yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so they changed it a little bit, but it's still the same game. It is a fun game though.
Yeah, I don't
Until
think,
you
I mean,
crash.
it's the exact same thing, just slightly tweaked to look
Yep,
different.
yep. Little graphics change. Pretty much everything else is. So still a cool game. I'm actually enjoying watching you play this.
I think this is my
Surprisingly.
best run ever, honestly.
Really?
I think I'm gonna beat my world record. I should have went the other way. Again, this is super hard to do with just a mouse, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I can tell. It's because you're struggling to move on time with this.
I should have mapped a couple of keys. That would be way easier. Oh, game over.
Hey, you
Oh,
got
man.
pretty far though. Let's see how far you got. They used to show you on the map how far you got, but not on this version. Yeah, William, thank you for coming. We're kind of at this point we're past our time. We're just chatting for the sake of
Oh,
chatting.
that was my high score.
Nice.
17,864. Beat that, suckers. I kind of wonder what the highest score anybody's ever got on this game is. Probably better than mine because I don't play it very often. There's probably some
There,
people who sat there and just played that and played that and played that, you know?
there's gonna be guys out there with like 2 million points or some crazy,
Yeah, probably.
That's always the case. It's like, oh, I just, I made, I got through it in record time. No losses. Never crashed.
Yeah.
So
I played so long the game broke. Like, oh, well,
well,
you'll have that
that was a great
occasionally.
stream.
Yeah,
Thank you
that
for
was
having
fun.
me on here.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for joining us. I think everybody, well, probably most people, there may be a few people who are like, who's that? But, it's Max the Gamer. You best recognize.
Best recognize. I don't even know what my high score is on this. And now you got me playing it. So
You're going to have to get on there and figure it out. Be like, well.
yeah, I'd have to. Oh my God, I'm playing with the mouse too. This is bad. I need to set up some keys for this.
Yeah. I mean, it only takes a
I'm just gonna
second.
crash to see what my score was before, just so I know. But I know mine wasn't even in the 17,000s. It was pretty low.
Most of the time, I don't do that good, but that was a good run for me right there. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
William said it's the OCD. Melon says
So
Max should be on every Sunday.
I wish I could. I would, but some Sundays, today because it's wet out, actually worked out because normally, my doggy gets his play date right around 10 o'clock in the morning. So I have to leave, take him there at 9, and then we spend an hour. So it's exactly during your stream, which really kills it.
Yeah.
But today we moved the play time to like 1 p.m. So it's perfect. Let me see. I'm trying to crash my way to my score. I can see the score. I'm just crashing over and over again. I was like, just let me see my high score, please.
They
This thing
should
is
do
killing me.
a contest where you take a screenshot of your highest score and send it to them and give somebody a prize or something. That would be kind of a fun deal.
Yep. I'm down to like 14 seconds. I could do this. I could crash my way. Oh my God, extended the time. Come on. I'm literally riding the shoulder trying to crash on everything because I don't want to extend the time. But it's refusing to cooperate. It's actually making me move forward. Unbelievable.
Sounds like Vladimir likes Max's answers.
Oh, I'm glad you like the info,
stuff.
man. Yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to come on here and try to share as much info as possible without Millen yelling at me for talking too much. So, oh, game's over. Thank God. Okay.
Thank God. Oh man.
All right. I did this. I did 11,000 was my high score. So
all right.
Yeah. So I never get very far with this. But yeah, have a great day, everyone. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for coming.
That was fun. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you everybody. We definitely appreciate you a lot. If you haven't checked out Max the Gamer on YouTube, make sure you check out his channel. I'm sure all you guys know Max, but if you don't, that's another great channel for CSR Racing.
Yep. And good one, Millen. We'll see you in 2025, guys.
Oh wait, today
No.
is it's the 20th.
Yeah, we're almost there. 29th. Yeah.
We got what,
By
2
the
more
time,
days?
yeah. By the time you do the next
Well,
stream, it'll be 2025.
I don't think we're going to. I mean, according to YouTube, aliens are going to come down here and wipe out the entire planet before 2025. So I'm not sure we'll
Ooh.
get to do another stream according to YouTube.
All right.
But,
Well,
you know,
YouTube still owes me money, so they better not go under. No, I'm kidding.
I'll tell you what,
Hey.
some of the stuff on YouTube is very far-fetched, I'll tell you. Like, I'm amazed people are allowed to post some of these videos. I mean, I get some type of, like, theories and crazy ideas, but some of it's just like, come on now. They're just trying to scare people, and, you know, they're trying to scare
it works,
you to
though.
get views. It's awful.
It works.
It does.
Works, sadly. You know, the dumbest stuff gets the most views. We know that. So
it does.
Hey, look, you have a great rest of the year. If I don't see you or chat with you. But
sure.
and a great rest of the year to everybody. And we'll see you in 2025. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You guys and gals are awesome. Max the Gamer and Danny Lightning out. Peace. Have a wonderful new year, everybody. Catch you guys later. See ya, see ya. All right, now I got to press the button to end this thing, and voila, ba-bam. There we go.
All done?